This article is the 15th in a series focusing on vendors who are selling their wares at the Western New York Welcome Center's Taste New York Market. Thank you to Diane and David Allen for joining in an online Zoom interview to share the Lavenlair Farm story, along with some business and marketing experiences, tips, and strategies. Spotlight on Lavenlair Farm.
Well, we're Diane and Dave Allen, owners of Lavenlair Farm in Whitehall, New York. Lavenlairfarm.com is the best way to get to us, especially in these COVID transition times. All of our products are available online. We ship nationwide. And we are hoping to be open this summer by appointment only. We're working on the online integration now, but people will be able to buy tickets and come for a session probably starting the third week of June, Wednesday to Sunday, from end of June till maybe early August, depending on the bloom.
Well, you'll be able to order products online in advance, so you can come to the farm and pick things up. That's not true.
Yeah, we're actually, we also offer farm pickup, except for when we're open. Our web designer had said to us, in an effort to be able to focus on the people that are here visiting, we won't be able to have the people, say, ordering products to kind of get around the appointment system. So we are going to suspend farm pickup for the month or the 6 weeks that we are open. This way we can concentrate on giving everybody who's here the best experience and our full attention.
And that's all part of working your way into this new operational model as we come out of the COVID shutdown and you move into inviting guests.
Exactly right. Yep.
And the farm is where?
So we're in Whitehall, New York, which is about an hour and a half north of Albany.
Exit 20, the Lake George Outlets exit.
The postal address is Whitehall. The actual address is Fort Anne. But you can look us up, lavenlairfarm.com, and all the directions are right there as well.
Yeah, there's a Google Maps pin on it as well. So you just put it right in your GPS and it'll take you right to us. And all the information is both Googleable or on our social media page, Facebook, Instagram, and our website as well, lavenlairfarm.com.
And the reason we're doing this is because Lavenlair Farm is one of the vendors in the Taste New York market system around the state. I am most closely associated and really fully associated with the Western New York market, the opposite end of the state from your location. But your products are in the Taste New York market in the Western New York Welcome Center, and I believe a number of other markets.
Yes.
Indeed, yes. So we're in the Adirondack Welcome Center, and we're in the Capital Region Welcome Center. So a couple of our local Taste of New York centers.
It's been a really wonderful experience, the Taste New York program, showcasing products that come from New York farms and New York distilleries and businesses. And it gives people the opportunity to support local, especially during, the pandemic times that we're coming out of. People, haven't been able to necessarily come to the farm this past season, but they were able to help keep us and many other small businesses going throughout that time.
And we know they're not all high volume markets.
Right.
But they're exposure markets. And that's
exactly.
Absolutely. Yep. And we definitely get a lot of folks who've been to those markets and recognize us from our products there.
And didn't even realize it was possible to grow lavender in the Adirondacks. And we certainly are doing it. So, yeah, it's been an interesting adventure. This is heading into our 8th year.
We're coming into our 8th year. Yeah. We put our first plants in the ground in 2013. We planted our meditative labyrinth in that year. We had our daughter and son-in-law come up, and they worked side by side with us to get about 600 plants in the ground. We've grown that to about 3,500 plants now. in 30 different varieties on the farm.
Plus, we've added peonies as well, and a sunflower patch to enhance people's agritourism experience. So we're doing our best to, we already have a 200-year-old 2-story stone farmhouse that was, quarried from this land in 1820.
Who knew that we'd be saying we quarried our house from the land?
Indeed.
Someone did anyway.
Right. The very house we're standing in right now. And so it's a stone farmhouse with a field of lavender. So we like to say, given COVID times, you can't head to Provence, get in the car and come up the thruway and visit Provence in New York State,
And you said how many varieties of lavender are you presently growing?
We do have 30 different varieties on the farm today, what they call cultivars. Lavender is basically broken up into 3 large scale categories, French, English, and Spanish. Spanish doesn't grow here. It's a tropical crop. You'll only see it in Florida and Puerto Rico, that sort of thing. But French and English lavenders will grow here. French is what they call an intermediate lavender. It is a hybrid lavender, and it is bred primarily for essential oils.
French for fragrance.
Yep, French for fragrance, English for eating.
Right.
So
our culinary
F for
lavender.
F and E for E.
Our culinary lavender has been tremendously popular. In fact, Ninepin is using it to make a lavender hard cider. I'll get that. The
very first farm brewery in New York State is using our lavender as their flavor.
Well, how interesting is that? And lovely packaging as well.
Indeed. So you can support 2 New York businesses.
They'll appreciate that shout out, I'm sure.
Sure. No, Ninepin has been wonderful to work with. We like to work with as many local suppliers as we can. If there's something we can't provide, for instance, we don't have a glass factory, but we use SKS.
Right, which is right out of Cohoes, right outside of Albany.
Indeed, to make, so we have our packaging is local and as recycled as possible.
We're very green on the farm. We've introduced geothermal heating and cooling here in the stone farmhouse. We have a 52-panel solar array, so we generate over 14 kilowatt right here on the farm. We do all our hot water generated solar heat. So we go 3 ways solar, and all of the heating, cooling, electricity needs of the farm are all provided right here.
And our practices are all organic. Our feeling is that, this is where we live, so we don't want any chemicals, any additives. Luckily, lavender likes a very sweet soil, and we're in a limestone farmhouse. So we're basically, the earth is providing the limestone that the lavender needs. So we're very fortunate in that respect.
And the two of you are the owner operators of the business.
We are indeed. Yep. Dave and Diane Allen. We bought the property in 2013, and we did our first plantings then. And we own and operate. You can see as Diane's working here, making the lavender.
I don't know, maybe if you could pick up the computer and show.
Yeah. We can see all the different tins and whatnot.
One of our most popular products is Lavendo. And I have spent today making several batches. I make each one by hand over at the stove. And it is just the most popular fidget putty that also softens and moisturizes. And I don't know if you can see, I basically roll it out. Move these out of my way. And stamp it. Everything that we do here is with a heart.
As it gets stamped, it gets put in a little heart tin as well.
Indeed. One of the things we tell people is that we harvest happiness here, and it's a labor of love. And we just love sharing that with people. They love to see the products being made, lip balm and our body butter sticks. And
speak of the devil, here they are. So here's our body butter stick. This is our beeswax. We have 5 hives right here on the farm. So and there's the honey. So our beeswax, our lavender essential oil, and a vitamin E oil there. Same thing here, our lavender lip balm, small packaging, but essentially the same product. Again, our beeswax, our lavender essential oil, and vitamin E.
The great thing about our essential oil is that it's solar distilled. That's something that makes it very unique. It's not just organic, it's an copper electric still that is powered by our solar array. So the sun grows it and the sun distills it.
Yep.
And this is your own design as well?
So certainly the solar was all ours, but the copper still is a purchased still. We use only copper because there's no interaction between the metal and the floral. So we're not introducing minerals to the essential oil. So it is as pure as we can make it.
Exactly.
There's no petrochemicals added. There's nothing but the lavender and distilled water.
People ask us if we make it, and it's like, well, the plants make the oil. We basically distill it into the jars so that people can enjoy it at home.
Do you have employees besides yourselves?
So we have folks who will help us with the harvesting on the farm, and we have in past years, COVID notwithstanding, we have had folks helping us with retail in various markets. This year we will not be at markets. We've made the decision to stay just on the farm because of the sort of unpredictable nature of the COVID situation. But
so no festivals or markets
not this year.
Yeah, we're moving into grandparent stage. We have a 1-year-old grandson, and because he's not able to be vaccinated, even though we're both vaccinated, we're still wearing masks just to make sure when we're around him, we're keeping him safe.
That applies to your visitors as well. So
exactly.
Right.
We don't have any requirements on people being vaccinated themselves or wearing masks, but we are vaccinated and we will be masked. But the nice thing is we ship our products nationwide, and because of the stress that the pandemic engendered, people were sending our gift sets. I mean, I don't know if you can see, our packages come in this purple box, and it's basically from our farm to your home, and it's presented, whatever they order, as a gift. And what we like to say to our customers is, we do this even when they're just ordering for themselves. They're a gift to us. They're supporting our dream of living here and harvesting happiness. So each one of them gets a little one of our lavender soaps as a thank you for being so supportive. So it really is just a wonderful opportunity to bring a lot of economic, be an engine of economic progress to an area that hadn't really seen it. A lot of the dairy farming, that the small dairy farms have been kind of gone out. And this is a way for people who have land to make a living on a farm. We've kind of been agritourism pioneers.
Very much.
In this area of Washington County.
We joke, we live on Dewey's Bridge Road. We joke that there's the Dewey's Bridge Road Business Association now, because Lucy down the block opened up her little farm stand or her veggie stand, and
the farm across the road now has a petting zoo. So each farm
they've seen all the folks that we've been bringing to the neighborhood.
Yeah.
And they see an opportunity there.
So it's wonderful.
And you two are the founding members.
Indeed.
We are indeed, yes.
A lot of people thought we were, kind of crazy. Nobody's going to come this far. And it
lavender doesn't grow here.
Yeah, we heard that a lot. Lavender
that
doesn't
too.
grow here. You have to work hard to get it to grow here, and not all lavenders will grow here, but our culinary lavender, New Zealand blue is the cultivar. It grows here like it's not read the book that says it doesn't grow here. And again, 9-pin, bakeries.
We share our Art of Cooking cookbook with all the different lavender recipes there.
And we've really kind of become noted for,
our lavender tea.
Our culinary lavender. Many people are like, oh, I had lavender once in something and it tasted terrible. And I said, they probably use the essential oil, which is the French. So we're always like, French for fragrance, English for eating. So the education component of it has been really satisfying too. It's been a huge learning curve for us. We learned so much, and it's nice to be able to share that with other people. And we've learned from people and to pass that knowledge along. The genesis of Lavendo was a lot of fun. When we were still in New Jersey, commuting up on weekends, establishing the farm, I was working in New Jersey as a massage therapist. And I always tell people, nobody wants to be touched with farmers' hands. So by Sunday, my hands were pretty beat up. And I basically invented Lavendo as a way to exfoliate and soften my hands. On the 4-hour car ride, by the time I got home and working this, my hands were butter soft, ready for Monday to massage clients. So we got it.
The great thing too is kids find it irresistible.
It's the perfect fidget at bedtime get the wiggles out of the 7-year-old,
Seniors have
arthritis.
Nothing but pleasure with it because it is working their joints, and they can play with it while they're watching TV or
on
just
long car
relaxing on
trips.
a ride.
So we actually got the trademark. We have the trademark for Lavendo now, and that was a real adventure. And again, just things like that, when people will say to you, oh, you're living our dream. And we say, follow your dreams. You don't have to just, when I retire someday. We were, in our late 40s and said, you know what? Nobody's promised tomorrow. Let's follow those dreams and make them happen.
Yeah.
What's the scale? What's the scale of your dreams, the sales and level, to the extent that you're comfortable sharing that?
Sure.
So sure, the farm has made about $330,000 gross sales. That's
Annually.
sales annually from markets, festivals, on-farm sales, online sales.
The great thing that the pandemic forced us to do was to pivot to, I like to say, we're the Lillian Vernon of lavender now. People order and they'll send a gift to Aunt Myrtle in North Dakota from, say, Glens Falls, and now Aunt Myrtle is sending it to her friends. So I have people in North Dakota sending it to other people in North Dakota that have never been to the farm.
Or gift boxes shared across the country.
People will
by
share them
Instagram and
online.
Facebook.
Everybody gets a handwritten note on our farm rainbow postcard with the thank you, little soap attached, and they share it on social media. It's been really interesting how, when you handwrite someone a note, that's not something Amazon is doing. We basically
don't tell them that. They might line up hundreds of people to do that.
Indeed. We can't compete with them on scale, but I put a personal note, even in the shipping notice. Thank you so much for this. Your note, if they put a note in, it's not like I just run it off the printer and stick it in the box there's no packing slip. It's a handwritten note. I transcribe their note in my handwriting onto the card. So it looks like, it's a keepsake for Aunt Marge or Grandma, Mother's Day, Valentine's. And people will share these notes online that they're getting. And that's kind of been our unique selling proposition. We're able to have a personal relationship. It's not just they're sending it off to a company and some computer is generating a message.
And they throw it in a box.
In a handwritten script. Right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
I actually get people texting me pictures. Here's my granddaughter holding the lavender, and this is what it's doing outside. And, people in Florida, Ohio, North Dakota. I mean, we have a wonderful contact in San Diego. I'll backtrack a bit. I donated a kidney through the National Kidney Foundation to a stranger that started a kidney chain. That was in 2013. And the director of the Women in Living Donation out in San Diego has sent our products. She is always sending them. Diane Brockington, her husband, John Brockington, was a NFL football player, and she donated a kidney to him. He had kidney disease. So we have a whole West Coast coterie of clients as well through that, kind of ripple of good karma. Yep. So.
And the same thing happens with sororities.
Exactly.
Where a sorority sister will find us and start to send things to her sisters. And they send.
Wedding favors. Shower favors, birthday thank you gifts.
One of the things we started with was many people have come to the Lake George region for generations. Mm-hmm. They may have come as daughters with their dad. They may have come with their husbands. They may come now with their families. They may come as grandmas. Whatever it is, but
there wasn't a lot.
And with a good spirit, they did the canoeing, they did the camping, they did
the Six Flags,
and they enjoyed it. Of course, they kept coming year after year. But what was in it for them? What was the ladies' outing for them?
Outside of outlet shopping,
right? Which
maybe a dinner cruise if you play your cards right.
Exactly.
Exactly.
But
right.
This has become like, oh my God, we can go here and do yoga in the lavender field. Right. Or in the past, we've had music events where it's cocktails and hors d'oeuvres and jazz music at sunset.
And I'll treat you to the Reiki, or, oh, wouldn't it be nice to get the massage?
Chair massage, and
whatever it is.
They can come and we give them a scissor and they can cut their own bouquet. Some of our lavender, what color is lavender is a trick question. We have pink lavender, we have white lavender, and every shade of purple, from the palest, almost light blue, to deep, rich, dark purple. So they can customize their own bouquet, and it's a really nice day out.
Photos with the kids, photos with the new spouse, photos.
We've seen engagements where a couple, the guy has threaded the engagement ring onto a stem of lavender and is, why don't you cut this over here? And then he's down on one knee proposing.
Lovely.
Indeed. So we've kind of become the backdrop for people's memories. We've had the engagement photos, the new baby photos,
the graduation photos,
4 generation, baby, mom, grandma, great grandma, and it's, again, to be able to provide that kind of setting has been wonderful. So,
yeah. Dave, what's your background? I mean, for this lovely setting that you've built there.
So my background is many faceted. I've been a retail manager. I've been an IT guy. I've been a project manager for various corporations, which interestingly and sort of ironically has all blended together to make this a natural outgrowth. The retail is a natural, the accounting is a natural, the personnel management is a natural, putting it all together, the stocking, the maintenance of records, the tax paying, all a natural. So this is all, my background has just bled into and been all drawn together to make the farm successful.
And in addition to being a massage therapist, I've also been in magazine marketing. I was in online sales as well. So we've all, the skill sets that Dave and I each brought to the business. And I'm an avid gardener. We both love being outdoors. So
your horticultural background was the extension, and that came from your gardening interest.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
And you just expanded them across the landscape.
Indeed, yeah.
So we when we initially bought the house, we thought, well, it's a beautiful 19th century house. We'll run a bed and breakfast. And in order to run the bed and breakfast, we thought, well, could we do to stretch the season? We'll buy Christmas trees, and we'll have folks come up and they can stay and cut their own Christmas tree. Wouldn't that be lovely? And so we went down to the garden center, and in buying the Christmas trees, there in the dumpster was an old plant that they were throwing away.
It was a misshapen plant, and
Diane does plants,
plant
rescue the way a lot of people do animal rescue.
I can't bear to see a living plant thrown in the
So I
garbage.
climbed into the dumpster and I fetched this plant back out. We brought it home with our Christmas trees. We had been coming up from New Jersey at the time, and we spent the whole weekend putting our Christmas trees in the ground.
Carefully amending the soil for each, digging the $50 hole for each 50-cent Christmas tree start.
Right. And we got them all in the ground, or we were almost there. We were kind of coming late on Sunday, and I said, Dave, we got to get the rest of this in. We hurried up, and there was that plant. So we just stuffed it in the ground.
Literally, Dave stuck the shovel in, pulled it back. I heeled the plant in, pushed it down. No water, nothing, no amendments.
Fast forward 1 week.
1 week, we come back.
We come back the next weekend, and there is exactly one Christmas tree left standing.
I was going to ask how you and the deer get along.
Yes.
Yes, we feed them. They love us.
Yes.
So
we didn't even know. I thought the plant that we put in the ground was rosemary. I didn't even know it was lavender.
But the deer hadn't touched it.
They had stepped you could see the hoof print. They'd stepped all around it.
And there was some new growth.
And
we had a winner.
And so, I'm out in the field. I Google commercially growing lavender. And the first thing that comes up is the inaugural meeting of the United States Lavender Growers Association was going to be in
Richmond, Virginia.
In about another month. Now, had it been in anywhere else, get on a plane, forget it. But we were able to drive.
Road trip.
So we were in on the ground floor of the U.S. lavender growing industry as an agritourism business. And
we've grown with them. They've grown with us.
Yeah.
In fact, just 2 months ago, we went to the 6th semi-annual Lavender Growers Association meeting.
Online, of course.
Yeah.
But it's been a great adventure. We've learned what works, what doesn't work. A lot of things that work for other people in other parts of the country definitely don't work here for us, and vice versa. So, a lot of people that had been growing lavender gave us very generously of their time. So we've tried to pass that along as well, helping people get started. And it's been a great adventure.
So your social media and online presence is a big part of your overall marketing effort.
Yes. Facebook has been amazing for us, and Instagram as well. It's a very visual, stunning pictures. I mean, a
the
cell
only
phone,
drawback is that you can't smell the picture.
Yeah, that's the only thing. There's no sense.
Not yet.
Not yet. Right. That's probably
Right.
the next update. But yeah, Facebook, getting the word out, Facebook advertising, and again, being in the Taste of New York shops around the state has also been huge.
Really been very valuable to us. Yeah.
So some marketing tips and strategies that have been important for you, that what might some of those be that you're comfortable sharing?
Ironically, one of the most valuable was our rack card in the rest stops on the interstate. Everybody and I know it's old school, but everybody stops to use the bathroom, on road trips, and you're waiting for your family members to come out, and you're looking at those cards, And people are like, your card is so beautiful. I keep it on my my wall at work,
My
or
cubby, my fridge.
it's on my fridge, you know, and it's been fabulous. You know, that card, most of those cards, I picked this up and throw it out. It's just so beautiful. I save it. You're coming out with this year's version, you know, so it's become kind of a keepsake.
Do you do your own photography?
Honestly, it's mostly cell phone.
Cell phone. Mm-hmm.
You know, it's hard to take a bad picture of a beautiful stone farmhouse and a field of lavender. Yeah. You know, we're out there weeding. We look up and there's a double rainbow over a field of lavender and a stone farmhouse. It's like snap.
Hard to go wrong with that.
You know. And as I said, we've been able to work with the farm across the road. So his cows, we call it the bovine B&B. His cows will come over and munch away on the old night pasture. So the hillside behind the lavender is bucolically dotted with sleek cows and calves. And it's the best way to have a herd. We just have them
look at them.
We look at them, and
the neighbor takes care of them.
But it lets his pasture rest over the summer. So,
but other marketing techniques, word of mouth is huge.
Yeah,
we spend a lot of time and effort making sure that our reputation is spotless. You can go online and see that all of our references, all the folks reviewing us are giving us 5-star reviews, and we actually will go on and ask, if we got a 4, what could we have done better?
We actually,
and often they'll change it.
Or we've had people give us a 1, and I was like, oh, I'm so sorry. And it's like, because you're number 1. And it's like, no, 1 doesn't mean good. You know, you're the best, number 1. No, 1 means really terrible. Oh dear, I'm so sorry. I'll change that. Thank you.
But we're very careful to, make sure that we're listening to our customers.
Yes.
Make sure that what they are looking for is what we're providing, whether that be the experience here on the farm, or the product that they're looking for, or the response. Our gift boxes are the most beautiful we could come up with.
I always say to people, everything about lavender should be beautiful. So even if you're coming to do a pickup order, it's in a lavender floral shopping bag with tissue. It looks like a gift. And that's our view. It's our customers.
And often people will say, oh, no, I don't need the tissue, or no, that's okay, not the box. But you know what? They're glad to have it.
Well, then they see it. They're like, can I have the bag? Or at farmers markets, we've actually had people say, I had to come and buy something else because my lunch bag wore out. So I was like, okay, well, the bag is driving the product sales. Mm-hmm. That's okay.
That's okay. Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Indeed. So a lot of fun things like that.
You talked a little bit about impacts of COVID on your business and marketing, and really now you're seeing what happens as you come out of COVID.
Yes.
Indeed. So the COVID was really a big pivot for us. I mentioned our gross sales in 2018, 2019. In 2020, we did about 30% of that, but it was all online.
Which, again, it generated an online business, which is really nice for us, rather than just having a big July and a big August and then business at Christmas time. Now we're regularly getting orders every day. So we have steady income year round. We like to say to people, when you go to if I'm selling carrots at a farmer's market, you're going to buy a bunch of carrots, go home and eat them. And next week you need more carrots. If I'm selling you a bottle of lotion, the first week, great, I have great sales. The next week they say, as they're walking past, I'm loving that lotion. Mm-hmm. And then the week after that, that lotion is so great. But
it could be 6 months or more.
How long,
Indeed,
you're not drinking that bottle of lotion in a week. So the nice thing about having the online sales is it's pretty much become very steady. As people use up product, they reorder, and we can count on a regular income all year long.
And we've really transcended just our local market, just the Capital District or just the Adirondacks, just Vermont. And we're, as Diane's mentioned, we're selling nationally. We were for some years going down to Florida in the winter, which makes it sound like, oh, well, that's a great beach holiday. And it was to some extent, but we would do 8 markets a week down there.
We have family in Ormond Beach. So we would stay with family and then work the area markets.
And you'd think, well, that's great. You've met a lot of Floridians, but we didn't. We met a lot of Ohioans. And
the snowbirds.
And, people from New Jersey and
Tennessee,
Virginia,
the Carolinas.
The snowbirds.
Even the Canadians as well.
And it really cross-pollinated the brand right across, the entire eastern side of the country. So folks all over the country know about us from Florida.
Yeah. So that was serendipitous because that we had family in Florida. I don't know that we would have been able to just spontaneously, rent on season rates. That would have eaten up all our products, but we got to visit with family. My aunt was helping me with the lavender, putting it in the little tins. So it was nice. It's been a way to have time with family and make a living, making a life worth living.
Yeah.
And not just putting in the grind, waiting for retirement someday.
Well, that's just lovely.
Yeah, it's a great life.
Yeah.
Future plans. What do you have in mind?
Well, it's kind of one of the things we like to do, creative visualization. How is the business, the world changes, our lives change. As I said, our first grandchild just arrived a year ago in the height of the pandemic. And we always revisit it, our goal is to harvest happiness. Whether that's lavender, whether that's transitioning into peonies as well, sunflowers, diversifying our floral crop. As long as it's fun, it's where we want to be.
So you're harvesting happiness and then you're sharing it as
indeed
in a variety of ways.
Yep.
So many people say you're living my dream, and it's just a wonderful feeling to be able to be finding happiness now and not postponing. We always say to people, don't postpone joy. And that's, you take credit cards? I'm like, exactly. Don't postpone joy. Stock up.
So once again, what is your web page?
But yeah, Lavenlairfarm.com. LAVENLAIRFARM. Lavenlairfarm.com. No spaces, no S on the end. Sometimes people will say, oh, Lavenlair Farms. I'm like, one is enough. Trust me, just Lavenlair Farm. So, but yeah, it's just been a great experience.
Thank you once again to Diane and David Allen, owner-operators of Lavenlair Farm in Whitehall, New York, for enthusiastically sharing the Lavenlair Farm story and for being willing to visit via Zoom for this interview. As Diane and David say, when customers choose something from Lavenlair, they aren't just buying a product, they're buying an experience. If you'd like to know more about this unique New York State farm and business, or if you are thinking of visiting while in the Lake George area, visit their Instagram or Facebook pages in addition to their webpage. Lavenlair Farm products are available at the Western New York Welcome Center's Taste New York Market, in addition to markets in the Adirondack and Capital regions. Lavenlair Farm products can be ordered online through their webpage, www.lavenlairfarm.com. Wholesale pricing is available for businesses interested in carrying Lavenlair Farm products in their shops and markets. Lavenlair Farm tours and other event and agritourism experiences are currently by appointment only, as we all work to safely emerge from the COVID-19 pandemic. Lavenlair Farm is another example of how family-run farms and businesses in New York State are continually adjusting to changes in the economy and markets, and is one of the many businesses working to make locally grown, manufactured, or processed and packaged foods, beverages, goods, and services available to consumers throughout the state, region, and beyond.